My name is Marshall Saunders, and I'm the president and founder of Citizens Climate Lobby. The climate needs, the lobbying needs what Results was doing for hunger and poverty. And so that was really the beginning of the Citizens Climate Lobby. I saw that that the climate needed that. What needs to be done and why and all of that. I saw that movie, Inconvenient Truth, and I was just dumbstruck by the problems that we have gotten ourselves into. And the main thing there is the increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. And that those measurements were really started by University of California, San Diego, right here in this very city. Back here at Scripps Institution of Oceanography, you know, I think the most prestigious scientific and oceanographic and climate institution in the world. We had a tour of the Keeling Laboratory, where the Keeling curve is produced, where it began to be produced in 1957, where we know that the carbon dioxide is going up in the atmosphere, really probably every day, but they measure it, and they measure it every day.
There are three main questions that you need to know. These questions are: 1, does CO2 trap heat? 2, is the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere going up? And 3, are we responsible for that rise? The answer to the first question we've known for over 150 years, ever since John Tyndall stuck some CO2 in a box with a thermometer and found that when there was more CO2, the thermometer read higher temperatures. The answer to the second question we've known through a record collected in the Keeling curve. It's been collected for over 50 years, middle of the Pacific Ocean, direct measurements of CO2. That's it, just directly measuring CO2. The answer to the third question comes from the coal, oil, gas, and cement companies themselves. We just looked at their books, their fuel production data. We added it all up, figure out how much CO2 that amounts to, and it turns out that we've produced twice as much CO2 as is necessary to account for the rise since the Industrial Revolution we see in the Keeling curve. And the other half is dissolving into the ocean and causing ocean acidification.
The first measurements in 1957 were 315 parts per million. And now this latest count is 392 parts per million. So it's gone up currently about 2 parts per million per year now. And we know for certain, have known for 150 years or so, that carbon dioxide traps heat. And as a consequence, we are seeing all kinds of changes in our climate. For example, the little creek that ran through the backyard in where I grew up has dried up. My assistant's husband's grandfather, Grandpa Pete, as she calls him, has a ranch, I think 20,000 acres or something in Colorado. There's a river that goes through that ranch.
And my name's Pete Maldonado from Walsmer, Colorado. The river was, I would say it was 100 feet wide in them days. It affected us by not having any alfalfa, mostly all of last year. The place usually gives us around 3,000 bales a year when we could irrigate it. But this last year, we didn't have no snow on the mountains and no rain during the summer. The river has been dry until now in March, when it started the snow started to melt. This is a reservoir. I haven't had any water in them in the last 6 years, I would say.
We might be, we're being choked to death. So in time, I think, I probably won't be alive by then, but my sons, I hope they wouldn't have to sell.
So it's a very, very serious matter. We have these extreme events in the hydrology cycle, both floods on one end of it and droughts on the other, and then the wildfires that follow the droughts. It's a very, very serious matter. Well, the thing I think that needs to be done, I'm certain about it, is that we need to put a steadily increasing tax on carbon dioxide and really all greenhouse gases. And we need to increase that tax steadily so it becomes uneconomic to burn fossil fuels. That's a big statement, I understand, but that's what needs to happen. The people are not going to let the price of carbon go high enough to make the difference if we don't give them all of the tax money back immediately so that they can cover their energy costs. And also we know that most of the people in the country will be getting more back in income in this rebate than they pay in increased energy costs. So it is a terrific solution, and of course the oil companies, coal, gas, they don't like it. But we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to take charge. The people are going to have to take charge and do it.